Welcome back, everybody. We're in week 8 of season 21. We've got the marquee match this time. It's Cepherus versus Kokusho, otherwise known as Joe. Um, he is currently undefeated, and Jack is having a fun time with his Dragapult plus all of Dragapult's little buddies that he interacts with. He sets up Sun for that Scovillain we've seen. He can beat up into the Lucario. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he does today.
Yeah, Jack has this really fun team. He's been showing off these really fun, unique little sets that he's been doing. That Garganical has been putting in so much work for him. But Joe has that grass, water, fire core and has been steamrolling his way, currently undefeated. So it's going to be a really good match between these two. I love seeing both of these players play, and it's going to be a good game.
I think so as well. It'd be interesting to see if Kokusho mixes up anything. He's been running roughly the same stuff every week, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's doing very well. The one thing I'm looking out for myself is if he runs Guts on Machamp instead of No Guard, because he's been running No Guard, I think, pretty much every time. But we know that Cephalus likes to use Will-O-Wisp on the Dragapult. Um, Maybe he'll be watching out for that. I don't know.
Yeah, also, Nogar goes both ways. If he has any Mons that had a single KO move, could be running that into it as well, but I don't know if any of his Mons get anything like that.
Oh, we'll have to see. I think
Well,
I'm ready to let him go.
yeah, oh my goodness. Let's see here. Leads. We've already ready to go. We see the Agenda and Shashal Valor into the Nidoking and Sinistra.
Sinistcha's interesting. I would think it looks a little difficult to use. Dragapult, Scovillain with that fire damage. I guess he could be running Heat Proof. So I'm pretty sure we've seen him run Hospitality like every week.
Yeah, but he's leading it here, so maybe not. But also, this Dragapult has been known not to carry coverage moves. It has been known to run 3 support moves and then Dragon Darts. So I don't know how scared this Sinistra is. I think the lead with Sinistra is really smart, covering for any Trick Room options, allowing him to imprison any Trick Room, especially if he sees that Aromatisse there. And then this Nidoqueen can just pump out damage with this Sinistra there to go through and cause and be there for support.
Ooh. Oh,
Hey,
the mental. I've never seen that interaction actually.
that's such an interesting interaction. Also, Cursed Body. Cursed Body's really interesting. It says that it procs 30% of the time, but it might as well be 100% of the time.
It it happens a lot more often than you think, and it's really impactful.
Yeah, we see off the top here that knockoff. Actually, the Shadow Ball Curse Body ending up going through helping it out because it ends up using its item before the knockoff goes off.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
That
That's kind of big.
I that Sinistra may have went down if it wasn't for that. So that Sinistra gets another turn. It also has the ability to Rage Powder. Now, on Jack's team, the only thing that can resist that Rage Powder is Scovillain or something with a safety goggles. And that Shadow Ball with the light screen up was not able to two-shot here. We see a sunny day. And a Matcha Gotcha. And
Another
a
disable.
disable. I told you, it is 100%. Wow, and you also get the Matcha Gotcha proc as well. Really putting that Dragapult, if it's a physical Dragapult, it's pretty neutered here. But you have that Skull Villain here, that Skull Villain Chlorophyll in the sun, able to pump out some damage. That Nidoking isn't quite safe. It is Terra Grass. Sinisha can't redirect away whatever move this Skull Villain wants to fire off. Joe seems to have some momentum here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's an interesting position for Jack because just a fire move in the sun from Scovillain could really do a number into that Nidoking, even though it's not super effective, and it can't Terra out of that hit because it's Terra Grass, so it would actually take more damage. I have to wonder if this Dragapult actually has an attacking move to take down the Sinistcha, or at least help chip down the Nidoking.
Yeah. May see a Nidoking swap here. If he has that Rotom Heat in the back, really good. Oh, nope. It just lets one rip. We do see a Hex. It's not enough to go through and take it out. We see that Trick Room going ahead, getting set up. Suddenly, that very fast Scovillain is now the slowest thing on the field. I love Hex so much. But man, a Shadow Ball right there would have been a world of a difference there for speed control.
Yeah.
And we do see that Machamp in the back. Time to see if it's that Guts or if it's the No Guard that he's been running.
Make a world of a difference here. Really tough spot for Jack here. Ooh.
Dynamic No Guard it is.
I think that pretty much confirms it.
Yep. We do see that swap into the Garganacl. Now Garganacl has that Purifying Salts ability going through, making that Shadow Ball between that and the Light Screen just too negligible amount of damage. But that Machamp can still do a bunch here. He is Terra Bug, so he could go through Terra Bug to help out the Garganacl, but Stone Edge on that Machamp means that next turn gets a little bit of free reign to go through and also use a super effective move.
Looks like Jack has locked in his moves. There it is! There it is!
The fissure coming out.
Spoiler alert, I knew that was coming. I knew he had that move. I didn't want to say anything.
Oh man, and that is why prepping No Guard. Nobody has been able to pull that out on him yet. And it's just beautiful to see it done. Last mon is that Primarina. It does still have 2 turns in this Trick Room. Yeah. It's not totally over.
Ooh, it's boosting up. And it does have the Covert Cloak.
So that Salt Cure is not going to go through and have that additional damage over time. Interesting. We could see Jack just trying to go for another fissure here. Take out the Primarina before. And
might be the only way.
Now that the sun is gone, this Hyper Voice, if it has Hyper Voice, is going to do a lot of damage. And we know that Dragapult's really hurt in the back and it's burned, so it's only a matter of time. There it is. There's the fissure.
He's just going for the fissure.
Interesting to note
that light screen.
Yeah. We could see another light screen. The high voice would do less than recover does. So if it comes to a game of stall, this Garganacle may be able to recover Fissure its way out.
It's true.
30% chance to hit. One miss already. I believe that chance is now like 45%. Coin flip.
I feel like light screen's the way to go here. I was wondering if he might Sunny Day, but it probably has Moonblast, so light screen would cover for both. Yep, there it is. Oh man.
Statistically speaking, now we've seen. Ooh. There's that recover. I mentioned it earlier. In the miss on the Will-O-Wisp.
Another one.
2 times in a row. Joe says no. So now, do you take 2 more turns to try to set up a second Calm Mind in Moonblast? No, he's just going for the damage.
He got it!
There it is. He gets it on the one that matters. Just, I believe after about 4, that's about a 75% chance to hit there, which is about the odds of a focus miss. Right? Because it's 30% each time, and each time it increases. It doesn't like statistically increase, but after 4 times, it's like a 70% hit, right?
Out of 4,
yeah.
I don't know the exact math, but your chances are pretty good if you're clicking it that many times. I feel like I would not bring the champ again. I wonder what his adjustment might be. I know Weavile's put in a lot of work for him. We saw that.
It's also really good into that Dragapult, going through, being able to knock it off. If it has break, it can go through and stop those screens.
True. Considering the Terra Bug on the Garganical, and I think, yeah, Muck also has Terra Bug. Rhoda might be a good option for that fire damage.
Rotom also has Levitate, so it doesn't have to worry about any of those fissures.
That's true.
Once again, I said at the start, and I'll say it again, that Garganical has been the saving crutch of Jack's team week after week after week. That Mon is just incredibly bulky. Even a +1 Primarina was only doing 30%.
It is a fantastic anchor. He just always seems to have it in the back, cleaning up the game. Nothing can deal with it. Always have to have an answer to it. Which Joe did have a pretty fine one in the Covert Cloak Primarina, but that means nothing in the face of Fissure.
Yeah. But it makes me even wonder, the Rotom Heat, if he can live a Rotom Heat overheat, then the Rotom's just going to get weaker and weaker. It won't be able to deal with this Garganical. This Terra Bug Garganical gives him a lot of problems. His main form of dealing rock damage is that Machamp. He does have that Nidoking, but I don't know if the Nidoking has Flamethrower this week.
Oh, we got a lead change up here, and there's the Weavile.
Changes on both sides. interesting here, you can't fake out into the Dragapult, right? So if I'm Joe, probably going to save this Scoville and protect it up as I go ahead and set up Sun. So the question is he going to double down into the Dragapult, go ahead and take it out? Or will Joe go through and call that bluff?
I believe he
Jack.
revealed all 4 of Dragapult's moves. Yes. But he knows it can't protect.
But it's, yeah. It feels like a free knockoff, right? And if you want to spin your Terra early on it, that Nidaking's still in trouble. Because even if you go for a knockoff, that thing's probably slower than the Dragapult. So it's going to get Sun up one way or another.
Yeah. I just want to say I love Nidoking as a leading Pokemon. It's not what you'd expect. Thinking about leads as you usually see them in this league, you're thinking like fake out, speed control, I'm going to set something up, and Nidoking is just standing there ready to kill anything. It's so
Pump
scary
out
on its own.
insane amount of damage.
It pressures you. It disrupts you purely with its damage. It's not trying to taunt you or imprison you or set up Trick Room. It's just got so much damage you have to respect.
We could see a fake out into the Scoville and with the Nidoking doubling into it. Nope.
Ooh, it hits the burn.
Huge burn. There's that curse, buddy. I'm telling you.
100%.
That's crazy. Oh man, this Weavile still just burned with that triple axle. Still did a good chunk of damage to this muck.
Oh yeah. And he has just been running triple axle. I'm pretty sure he usually runs Sash with it. Alright. I think that's really smart. Setting up the Sun before he goes down. You'd think he'd want to set up a light screen, but now the Scoville is just ready to come in.
Yeah, that Drain Punch also healing it back up almost to full. And we know that the Skull Villain took out that Nidoking in one easy go. We've seen Earth Power, we've seen Ice Beam. Have we seen anything else from this Nidoking?
Just those 2 moves. My guess would be Sludge Bomb and Protect. But who knows?
Now, this is an interesting position because in game 1, Joe had the Sinistra there to go through and get speed control, but at this point, the Skull Villain kind of gets to go through half free reign, using Protect on the Nidoking, keeping it alive an extra turn as this Primarina goes through, sets up a Calm Mind.
Marina's offense isn't looking too great here, though. Pretty sure this Muck has an Assault Vest based on how it's been taking these hits, and Sun is up, so Hyper Voice is weaker. And Scoville resists Moonblasts. Wonder how he's going to go about this.
There's that flame. They're just going through, pressuring that same spot.
Yeah, still taking these hits super well. No poison procs at all.
But we did see the covert cloak early on. There is no hospitality, so that tells me it is heat-proof Sinistra. Well, I bet you he was wishing it was hospitality now.
Yeah, well, might be able to take a flamethrower just by virtue of it being bulkier. But I don't know what all it can accomplish in this situation.
Could try to set up a trick room here. Burn out another turn of sun. If I'm Jack, I'm doubling into the Sinister, going to try to take it out before it can go through and do any of its funny business.
Ooh, just taking care of that Primarina.
We did not see a protect on the Primarina
Yeah.
game. Did we see a protect on it game one? We've only seen the Hyper Voice Moonblast Calm Mine.
That was an interesting turn. He wanted to set up Trick Room, but he didn't protect with the... Maybe he didn't have protect.
Maybe he doesn't have protect. Maybe it is a fourth ice move in the form of Icy Wind or Ice Beam.
Oh.
Well,
That
that closes it out.
Yeah. Dang. That's the end of Joe's reign. I mean, he didn't have the crown, but he was undefeated until just a minute ago.
Yeah, 7 wins in a row. But, both players, excellent players. The change up there, not having that Sinister to go through and apply that speed control there, kind of big in the end. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, never mind.
Hello.
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 Jack's jumping in here. There he is.
I don't know what that's about. It kicked me out for some reason.
I saw that. It gave you a little yellow dot and everything.
I don't know what that's about, but they can't hold me down.
All right. Well, great games, guys. How you feeling, Jack?
I was really nervous about this one. I was not super confident for obvious reasons.
You're nervous against the previously undefeated player?
Joe and I have such a history at this point, it feels like. We meet on the battlefield so often. But this one, it felt like a lot of my, especially Nidoking, felt really, really problematic for me. It kind of destroyed everything on my team in one hit other than Dragapult and really defensive Garg. Everything else kind of just got immediately invalidated. So I really knew I wanted a lot of special defense, hence the AV Muck plus Light Screen. Felt like the only way I was really going to be able to make progress.
Yeah.
Good games, by the way, Joe.
Yeah, good games.
That cursed body coming into play so many times. In fact, it actually hurt you the first time because, unbeknownst to me, it consumes Mental Herb, which meant your knockoff was weaker.
It was a little sad. I think I probably wouldn't have OHKO'd anyway, so I wasn't or did I? Did I OHKO at the very end?
No, did not OHKO.
But later in that game, the Sinistra was able to survive at 4% and set up Trick Room. That definitely matters.
I I think I misread that turn. What I thought was, now I agree with you that, you know, the knockoff hurting definitely, um, or the knockoff not doing as much definitely hurt. But what I think was cool about that is that I did get confirmation that he was running Trick Room, which meant that I felt like I could run Garg a little bit easier, and I had a better path to understanding kind of how the rest of that game was going to go.
Yeah, and that Fisher really coming in clutch there.
Oh my gosh, I know. I had to fish for it a little bit, so I didn't. I had to. I had to earn it.
I thought there was a chance maybe I was going to steal game 1 because they kept missing.
I know. I was trying to maybe set up because I thought, if Fisher didn't connect ever, then I was probably just going to end up having to hope for a crit on Hex. So I was trying to hit the Wisp so my Hex would be stronger. But alas, both of them were blind for a little bit. But Guard clutched up, so I owe him my life.
I do love seeing the Will-O-Wisp Hex as somebody who has tried so often to get Hex to pop off. Sometimes that Shadow Ball just does a little bit more. And I think in game 1, when that Sinistra lived on that 4%, I was like, oh no.
Well, in that turn, I think was my fault. My whole plan was always to like set up for Scavillain in the back. So to use like Dragapult's last turn to set up Sunny Day so that Scavillain would be fast and like kill everything in the end game. And so, I had to try and guess when he would go down. So I thought he was going to get targeted with a Shadow Ball that turn because it wasn't because the Mental Herb saved him. So I set up the Sunny Day rather than clicking Hex that turn. And I think if I'd done that, I would have been in a really good position.
Joe, my question to you is, are you going to keep running No Guard on the Machamp after this? You've gotten away with it for so long.
Yeah, we'll see. I knew this day was coming for me. I am just a big fan of the No Guard. I don't know.
The dynamic punch and the Stone Edge always having 100% accuracy is just so nice.
Yeah. Dynamic Punch is just such a good move to spam. Like, even if you say you get burned or something, it still does quite a bit of damage, and the fact it throws out the confusions.
Yeah, it's super not fun to have to prep for. But
Yeah.
I don't actually even know if I tested this, but I think that Garg is immune to confusion. Am I wrong in that? Or,
That I don't know.
I don't know.
'cause I know
if Purifying Salt covers that.
I think I could have tested it. I did not. I was just hoping blindly that would be the case, which is why I ran.
Status, and confusion's considered a status, so I think you're correct in that assumption.
I don't know if it's because they usually do specify like non-volatile or whatever, so, and they don't in this case, so I don't really know. Maybe it'll come up at some point. I'll get like confused by someone's gonna run Confuse Ray on me. I'm seeing it in the future.
Lonos with his Basculation Confuse Ray coming your way.
Did that happen? What?
Oh, Lonos has run Confuse Ray on his Basculation a lot this season.
Yeah. It's insane. Linus, if you're listening to this, I love your builds, bro. Keep them up, please, God. Oh. The only other piece of tech I think I'll say, I was happy to see that you're running Dynamic Punch so that I could try and smash you with a with a Fisher. But if you were running Guts, I was running Worry Seed on on Scavillain.
Oh, that's funny.
I tried to click it into Primarina at one point, but he died.
Yeah, Machamp, you kind of had his number no matter what.
All right, do you have any other questions, James?
I'm good. Anything else you guys would like to add?
No, I don't think so. Just that my team has not been, I guess, performing as well as I hoped it would. But I gotta say that Dragapult's probably one of the most fun guys I've ever taken a crack at. I love Dragapult.
Just a dude.
Just the guy.
There's so much cool stuff.
All right. Well, great games, guys, and we will see you all next week.